Hello and welcome, or welcome back if you're a returning viewer to the channel. WB here, and in this video what I want to do is show you how you can create disk encryption policies inside of Microsoft Intune. As always, I ask you, if you like what you see, be sure to subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, like, share, comments are always welcome, and check out that description below for the link to our community Discord server so you and I can continue this discussion. What do you say, everybody? Let's go. Hello everyone, here we are on my desktop, and in order to deploy our disk encryption policies, we've logged into the Intune Admin Center. Keep in mind you can find that right here at this URL. And we're going to go to Endpoint Security. And then under Endpoint Security, you're going to see Manage, and then we're going to see Disk Encryption, right? And if you have disk encryption policies already, you will see them located here. We can create a disk encryption policy, and we can use BitLocker drive encryption for Windows, or we can use FileVault for Mac if we choose macOS. I'm going to go ahead. I'll choose Windows here, and then we're going to choose a profile, and we've got two different types. We've got BitLocker drive encryption, which is what we're going to use here in our demonstration, but take the time to pause the video if you are studying for an exam that requires you to know how to create these profiles. Hint, 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 MD102, and view this information. Go ahead, choose the drop-down arrow here, and this is the personal data encryption, and you can see information about that. A little bit of an exam alert for that MD102. I want you to link Windows Hello for Business back to personal data encryption. I'm going to go ahead and change this back to BitLocker and show you that there are various aspects of BitLocker that we can control with these disk encryption policies in Microsoft Intune. So I'm going to choose Create, and this will take us into our basic wizard here. We'll call this Northeast US device BDE for BitLocker drive encryption. I'll call it Pol 01. All right, and I could put a description if I wanted to. I'm going to choose Next. Now we got various aspects of BitLocker that we can configure. We'll see some of these here coming up, but let me just kind of go through these. We got BitLocker. We can enable BitLocker and require it. We can control, when it comes to the BitLocker drive encryption, what is the cipher strength? And really by default, you have a couple different AES variants, and you can choose between 128-bit and 256-bit encryption. And then a lot like you'll see, when we're doing GPO deployments, in an Active Directory domain, or even on the local, the local security policy or local group policy, we can configure aspects of our operating system drives, such as if we want to, allow the BitLocker to bypass the TPM, and then our fixed data drives as well in the systems too. So with that introduction, let's go ahead and choose BitLocker. We're going to turn this on. We're going to enable BitLocker, right? We can configure recovery password rotation. And as you go through this, if you're studying, right, check out these little icons here. It gives you so much good information, right? Especially if you're configuring password or configuring recovery password rotation, right? Again, keep in mind, this goes in combination of where if you're doing remote action and you're doing BitLocker key rotation, are you going to define what that backup recovery location is? Now we can move down here and we can see BitLocker drive encryption. This gives us the ability, like I said, to manage the cipher strength. And you have an option between two different AES variants, and again 128-bit versus 256-bit, right? I believe this is what, Cipher blockchain or chain block Cipher. It's been a while since I've looked at these acronyms there, but so forgive me for that. Got a lot of other acronyms in my head. When it comes to the operating system drive, this is where we can configure aspects of with authentication in general, right? Are we going to use a PIN? Do we want to use a PIN and a TPM, right? Do we want to require additional authentication at startup, right? Do we want them to have a startup key and a TPM, right? So depending on how strong we want our, we want to enforce, the BitLocker encryption and access. Then the fixed data drives as well too, right? We can enable this as well. right? Do we want to select the device encryption, right? I can say, no, if it's a device on our corporately owned devices, it is going to encrypt and maybe use space only or full encryption. So do I want the slack space versus the whole entire drive encrypted? And we choose next. This gives us our access to our scope tags, where if we want to delegate some privileged administration over this, we can. I'm going to use the defaults here, choose next, and then we get our assignments. Assignments allows us to check, search our Microsoft Entra groups, and we can apply our groups, and if we want to, we can assign a filter to this. For instance, if we want to do more targeted, profile targeting, we can do that with the assignment filters. We can add that. And now we can really, drill down into who we want this to be assigned to. Windows devices that are, again, you can see that have this assignment filter. We choose next. And here's our review screen. Pretty easy, straightforward. We can review and see if we need to make any changes, and then choose save. So far, a very straightforward process. Then we see an endpoint security disk encryption. Under create policies, we get our policy there. Keep in mind, if it doesn't happen to refresh, depending on your connection speed and stuff, just choose refresh there. It'll show up in the list, and then at that point, we get the ability, if we want, we can check out policy. We can view a report as well, too, see the per setting status and device assignment status. And if we need to, we can make changes after the fact as well. So for instance, if I want to go in here, maybe I decide, hey, more broadly, I want this to be assigned to every device in this group. I could come in here and I can remove this filter, and then we could choose next. It'll validate that, and then we can validate that we chose the right selections here. We can choose save. And there we have it. We've managed it after the fact, too. So very easy there to deploy disk encryption policies inside of Microsoft Intune for your endpoints. As always, I ask, if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so you're aware of all of the new stuff coming out. Remember to like, share, comments are always welcome, and check out the description for our community Discord server so that we can continue this conversation. Thank you so much for watching.